Well, we seem to be here. Let me climb out from behind my poster. Tim Wagner here for a Monday Live Lunch and Learn. 5 minutes, 6 minutes late. How horrendous it is when technical challenges are abound on a Monday afternoon. Well, here I am now, and it's time to climb in for some feedback, information, thoughts, perspectives, but raw and uncut. And I just wanted to share with everybody today. So welcome to my Lunch and Learn on the 31st of March, 2025. And if you're here for the first time, then welcome. Click below on the links in the comments there. You'll find my Pathfinder community where you'll have access to, I think it's probably about 30 of these live lunch and learns, which are 15-minute sound bites of information, tools, tips, strategies, thoughts, either from my professional pointed coaching program or from speaking or for something which is just going on in the world. And that's where I'm going to be sharing with you today. So where are we going from this? Now, you'll see the title on here is Thoughts from Stage. Now, I was last week on the 28th, I actually spoke at a convention called the 4th Annual HR Professional Strategy Bootcamp. And it was a phenomenal 3 days that I spent with HR professionals and executives from throughout Africa. We had everybody from Zimbabwe, the DRC, Kenya, Mozambique, Namibia, Botswana. I'm going to forget anyway. There was a whole lot. I think it was about 8 African countries which had been represented, and South Africa was sometimes even a few of the people. There were more people from other African countries, so it was fantastic to connect with these people. And I was invited to give a talk called Authentic Leadership Through Self-Actualization and Wellbeing. Now, this is a keynote talk of mine, and the subcontext of it is the silent crisis in business. How to spot and stop the slide to burnout. But during the first 2 days, so it started on the Wednesday, by the Thursday and by the Friday, I'd realized I actually wanted to change this. So there's a picture of me flashing up here. From hearing other speakers and thought leaders and HR executives from throughout Africa, hearing their problems, their challenges, what it is that they were coming across, and we were dealing with HR in all of its spheres, from leadership development and coaching and IR to development. The whole sphere was actually represented. So hearing the panel discussions and also the speakers from executive level and also from the support level in HR to not only executives, but then the broader team, it became abundant that I actually needed to change my structure. And I'm going to share with you why and what I actually realized, a couple of my clarity moments. So we had a bit of fun. I wanted to change it up a little bit and did some breathwork exercises as well, helping them to really access. I'll just fast forward here. This is called the feather breath, where we got everybody in the audience. It was a morning session. There was a gala dinner the night before, so there was some sore heads, and I wanted to get everybody involved. So I had everybody blowing a feather for a bit of fun, and that was what was needed as well. So I took a twist on my talk, and here's why. As a professional speaker and a high-performance coach in South Africa, we're often looking for business outside of South Africa because we want the euro, pound, dollar, wonderful stuff. So I'm pitching myself to the UK presently for some speaking engagements or for some corporate coaching or even one-on-one private coaching. And know that when I'm doing that, I'm also pitching myself against every other South African and everybody else in the UK, and even some people from Europe pitching for the same business. So the pie is this big. Now we've got all these people coming. In speaking, we say we want to grow the pie, but that's not always the case and not always possible when it comes to coaching. Same again going to America. There's a huge amount of speakers and coaches with phenomenal messages to share in the US for the US market. But as a South African, we want just a little bit of that pie because multiplied by 18 in an exchange rate or even 19, that's a lot more profit for the same amount of time. And I'm sitting there on day one, looking at these phenomenal people, seeing their need, feeling the energy of how ripe and ready Africa is for growth and development. And here they are coming from throughout Africa to Cape Town, to South Africa, to hear what can be done. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, why are we always pitching against the rest of the world? And I asked a number of them during the 3 days when I was networking, how many coaches and speakers are coming from the US, from Europe, from Australia to Africa to share their knowledge, their wisdom, their growth, to impart and impact the businesses and the communities in business throughout Africa? And the answer is none. So I'm going, hold on a second. Why is an African, born in Johannesburg, grew up in South Africa, speak awful Afrikaans and mostly English, pretty much the only language actually, but I'm still an African? Why aren't I pitching for business in Africa? There's a need, there's an emphasis for it. I've got a message and a story which, based upon the feedback after the keynote that I gave, is phenomenal. I've been invited to do something in Uganda. I've been invited to go and speak in Tanzania in October. The exact same keynote is what Paul said to me. What you did, bring there. Perfect it and bring. In other words, we've got to do it a few more times, because I told him I actually adapted my keynote for this audience. He said, this is the one that my audience wants. And 140 in Cape Town. He said 1,500 in Tanzania. And wow, the need is there. So that was my first clarity and realization. Here's the next one. There are statistics abound all over the place. Gallup has got statistics on personal development, on health and well-being. My focus is health and well-being and regenerative health, and I focus on using breath work as the catalyst to create a state of change in people. So health and well-being, mindfulness, mental health, if you want. I don't personally like that. I'd rather use health and well-being, and then psychological safety. The statistics are out, but I wanted to find out from the audience what their thoughts and statistics were. So I put together these questions. And the first question is, a psychologically safe work environment is where employees feel comfortable expressing themselves without fear and judgment and humiliation, where they can openly talk, speak about ideas, and take risks. Now, this is the first question. I'm just going to disappear behind there for a moment so you can see it. Which approach do you believe would have greater impact on improving employee well-being in your organization? Of the audience of over 120 odd people, 51 people voted and said providing a psychologically safe work environment. So that is down to the corporate culture. This is what they said is needed. The next question is, are existing employee well-being programs working? And the vast majority openly stated sometimes and no. Employee well-being programs are not effective. In other words, we got to change this up. The next one I asked, on a level of 1 to 5, how severe has work-based or placed pressure or stress been to your health and well-being? 5 being burnout, 1 being it hasn't. There's the statistics. Over 54% of people have had bad to severe health problems due to work-based stress. So what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? The fact that over the last 5 years, the amount, over the last 5 years, the amount of stress-based pressure, quiet quitters, people leaving because they can't handle it anymore, burnout, a state of what I call brownout, which is where you're sitting in this place of emotional disconnection. You're turning up to do the work, but you're not present. You're not enjoying it. You're not getting any value or growth out of your business or the job that you have anymore. The fact that the statistics have shown, not only from Gallup, but in the people in the room, that what is being done is not working. The fact that you can't just tick the box and say we've got an employee well-being program, but you've got to go in and change the corporate culture. These statistics are real and right. But here is my greatest gripe. All the speakers are talking about the problems. Very few said, and this is the solution. A lot of those talks, a lot of those conversations could have been copy and paste from 5 years ago. What is actually being done to change this? That's the key question. What is being done on grassroots, ground level, not only for the workforce, but the leadership, who are disconnecting? The top executives are disconnecting from the new executives coming up. Call it all the different X generations, Ys, whoever they may be. But these people that are coming up, there's no connection. They cannot relate. The old executives are doing the same thing over and over again, and it's been shown and proven it does not work. So what is being done? Not spoken about, being delivered. And I hope that is exactly what I imparted. One of the big reasons why I needed to change my talk on Friday morning was to deliver a different message and say, these are tools you can take away and apply in your life and to your team right now to break the stress cycle. These are signs that you can take and have a look at your team. Are they in a state of brownout? Are they going to hit burnout in the next 12 months? Look at these 8 criteria. This is what you can do about it. Is that not what we need? No more talk about what the problem is. Everybody knows in that room what the problem is. It was clear and shouted out loud. How many people know the solution? I am a solution to the challenge of brownout, burnout, stress, and anxiety. That was my story. So that's where I want to leave you today. Identifying the problem is great. Identifying the problem with no solution is pointless. Identify the problem. Provide the solution. That way, you get transformation. That's my goal. A transpirational coach and high-performing coach and speaker. Transformation through inspiration. So my name's Tim Wagner. If we've not met before, please like and follow, subscribe, join, watch the previous ones. I've got more to share. And if you would like a solution in your company for that state of stress and anxiety, let's connect. I may just have a solution that you're looking for. Ciao for now.